Hello, folks. Rob Mazak here, psychic medium. But today I'm not really going to focus on speaking about the psychic world or the mediumship world. But I wanted to kind of randomly, if you will, not scripted, but talk about some of those secrets that us humans keep. And I say secrets because it seems like the more I look at things, the more I've discovered that things have been covered up really deeply and for a long period of time. And so it's like our governments, our leaders, our the powers that be in this world, whatever they are, in my opinion, only in my opinion, because I can't prove anything that I'm looking at or experiencing. However, I'm just trying to state some of the obvious things that I've picked up on and learned over the years. But I believe that whoever really controls the planet really would like us to stay in the dark, to stay in our own prison, to even defend that prison. You know, I heard somebody say the other day something that made a lot of sense. Our belief system is basically our prison of our own design. Sometimes, obviously, it helps to become developed because of the way the world is run, situations, things that we're pushed into, forced into, if you will, and I get it, but our beliefs are our beliefs, our perceptions, everything that we believe to be true really happens within our own mind. And so that becomes our prison, if you will. But when somebody challenges that belief system, even with refutable evidence, we tend to become the prison guard. I heard this the other day, and it makes a lot of sense. We go from prisoner to prison guard, and that really kind of hit me hard. That how solid and concrete our belief system can become, and if we're not careful, we're going to miss a lot of things in our life, in the experiences that we have. But a lot of the things I've been looking at over the years and not entirely sure, or I have been uncertain about that over all the years until today, as to why I might need to actually know, or I should say know, be exposed to some of these things. Because like I said, I can't completely know without personally experiencing things. And if I have experienced some of these things I talk about, I certainly don't remember them. Not saying I haven't, but I have been looking at a lot of different things that have really kind of caught my eye. Things like the secret space programs, the MK Ultra programs, the Montauk Project, Philadelphia Experiment, all these things that seem so illustrious and science fiction worthy, if you will, right? And I kind of look at that with the grain of salt. I like to know these things. I like to look at these things, and I like to hear what people say, especially the ones that claim to be victims of these or participants in these programs. And it really has made me wonder over the years how much is really going on in the dark depths of our reality in the world we live in. Because I've also been told a lot of different things by what I would consider credible people. But once again, can't prove anything. And, I'm not really here to try to do that. But today, I had somebody come in that, we won't mention any names, obviously, but somebody that came in today that really became probably the first person that I've really come across that was very credibly accurate with the information I have learned over the years, or at least looked at, in regards to the secret space program, time travel programs, all these kind of things. And so we hear all the time about kids going missing, and in recently that's been more about sex trafficking and things like that. But I believe that children are also taken, or young people are also taken in the formative years in order to support some of these secret programs. Now, like I said, this is all conjecture because I have not been there. But once again, if I have, I don't recall. But I had an older man, a little older than me, come in today. And basically he stated that his memories have begun to recently come back. And everything he quoted to me about this 20 and back secret program and possible time travel and erasing memories and all these different things really were so accurate based on the things that I have read and researched over the years. And I don't know I don't know exactly entirely how I feel now about that, but I always wondered why I was so attracted to those programs and why I needed to really dig into this and feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole. But I think today I figured that out, is because being in the business that I am in as a psychic and a medium and doing hypnosis and regressions and things like that, I have heard about a lot of different things, and I've experienced a lot of different things through people. But I think all the things that I've been called to learn over the years have really prepared me for this time, because I believe this is the age of enlightenment, the time of enlightenment, where, as I've mentioned before, the veil is getting thinner between us and spiritual realm and information that is available to us by our connection to the quote-unquote other side, the other dimensions and things like that. And so I believe that a whole lot more things are going to start coming out, and there's going to be a whole lot more, I believe, pushback to try to continue to squash that kind of information. And so it just was really interesting, and I wanted to bring that forth. And in light of that, segue into something else I heard over the weekend, or looked at this over the weekend, is I was watching a video. I believe the guy was Matthew LaCroix, but somebody that really, really digs into the esoteric and ancient history evidence that's around the world. And one of the things that he spoke about was what most people would commonly call Planet X, and he didn't call it that, but basically he described it just like the Planet X story, like Zecharia Sitchin had put in his books and things like that, and about a sister to our sun, if you will, a binary star to our sun that has a very long elliptical, like 26,000 years, and it circles out way out past outside of our solar system and back around, close, at least relatively close in astronomical terms, to us and our sun. And the fact that there's been 13,000 years or increments, 13,000 year increments where catastrophe has basically set us back to caveman days, Stone Age days, because of the upheavals in volcanic activity, sun flares, gamma rays from the sun, all these kind of things. And this guy really detailed it out. I've heard some people talk about things, but this guy really done his work. And early in the 80s, 70s and 80s and early 90s, they weren't so secretive about what they were finding. Now they are, but he was using a lot of information that was freely given in the past to help him kind of solidify this. But what he quoted that was really interesting. I don't know if this is true, but he said that for the first time in many evolutions of human demise and then rise to ascension, he said for the first time in the known history that we know about, that we actually have the technology now to do something about the effects that this 10th or 9th planet, however you look at the status of Pluto, would give you that number. But this extra planet, what it does to the Earth, and it's beginning. It has been happening already, based on what he's saying. And he says that some of the things that we're doing, although we look at them as very nefarious, such as the cloud seeding, the chemtrails, GMO food, a lot of these different things that we're doing across the planet, on the surface looks like it's for really bad reasons, if you will. Nothing good about it. But the way he described it, it makes a lot of sense. It's like he says that now we actually have the opportunity to actually ascend consciously like we're supposed to do or meant to do. That now through technology we actually have the time. And that really hit me. Nobody has ever talked about that before. And the reason I bring that up is it kind of goes in line with some of the things that this guy was speaking with me about today. And the fact that we are much more technologically advanced and connected to other dimensions and other things outside of us than we probably really know. And so to me, this is a very exciting time, scary time, but exciting time that we could possibly actually ascend like we're supposed to. And so it kind of goes back to also what I was speaking about. Do we try to change it? Should we try to change what's going on? I don't know. I'm not so sure if that's the right approach. My feeling is that this is although we are a collective, we are one hive mind, if you will. We are one consciousness, and we're just pieces of the overall consciousness. However, to me, this feels more like an individual effort. And the more individual effort you do, the more you affect your fellow man and the other pieces of this collective. And I think in that respect, we can really change things that way. Really, really delve into ourselves. So if this is all true, if we really, if we are going through these cycles, and we are now at a point where we can actually keep that from happening. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention that he brought up that really made a lot of sense. He said if the elites do know this, which is what he's saying, and they're not running underground and hiding yet, then they must feel comfortable with the technology that he's speaking of, that we really can affect change and not allow this to create calamity like it always has been. So I don't know, there's hope. But I do believe that we should put more emphasis on ourselves, our families, and those that are close to us, and not necessarily always worry about the world around us. I'm not saying we shouldn't try to change the world, but we should change ourselves first. We should work on ourselves. But anyway, very exciting times, and I just kind of wanted to share that sometimes the things we get called to be of interest to us and we spend time doing, we don't always know why. But there are those times in life when the spiritual world, God, universe, however you want to look at that, reaches in and gives you validation. This is why you have been learning these things, because perhaps now I'm going to be bringing much more people into my office that have similar experiences. And it really was comforting for this person that I understood what he was explaining. He was also excited that he didn't have to feel weird, strange, because he is not the only one that has been talking about this or is beginning to talk about this and beginning to have memory surface. Yes. So in that light, I think that is the best part of doing what I do, is to help people feel like they're, more normal than they think they are, or at least not batshit crazy, for lack of a better word, or better phrase rather. And so anyway, I challenge you guys to always learn, always grow, always stretch, learn new things, listen to people. I'm not saying you need to change your beliefs, but it's nice to learn something and grow as a person every day. So I challenge you not to let a single day go by that you don't research something and try to learn something new that that pushes your belief systems and challenges your thinking. And in that way, you're likely to find more validation for that. And so anyway, it's just a little unscripted rant I want to put out there. And I just want to encourage you guys to stay strong, live your life, and we'll see you on the other side.